Altmaier. I am the coordinator for communications, public relations, and marketing. When I say that to students, they usually kind of look at me like, what? And then I say, good evening, Lawrence Township families. And they immediately know who I am. Haven't been calling because of weather this year, but I'm kind of enjoying it. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad you could join us and learn about the exciting transition that lies ahead. Our middle schools are second to none, and we need you to hear about that firsthand. I know it can be a time of anxiety with a lot of questions, and there's a lot of changes. You're used to having one teacher all day, maybe going to electives, and come down this big, beautiful hallway, and it might seem a little bit overwhelming. But we're here to help you along the way. We've got a great panel of folks that have taken time out of their schedules to kind of alleviate some of those anxieties that students and parents have, both of which are completely normal. So I don't want to take too much of your time here. I want to get right down to these questions. I know Mrs. Austin gave you note cards. If we do not address something that you have a specific question about, at about 7:15, Mrs. Rogers is going to kind of indicate by she's right here waving her hand. We'll have you pass those cards to the center and she will collect them. We will address as many as we can, but if you leave a contact phone number or email, someone will follow up with you personally. We want to be sure that we answer all of your questions. So first and foremost, let's introduce these wonderful people that we have on the stage. They've all got microphones, so why don't we start, we'll start on the end here. How about you, Mrs. Austin?
I'm Barb Austin. I have a freshman at Indiana University. She graduated from Lawrence Central last year, and I have a freshman at Lawrence Central right this year, so I am very familiar with that middle school, high school transition.
My name is Bonita Neil, and I am the 8th grade guidance counselor at Belzer, which means I will be the 7th grade counselor next year. So if you have a 6th grader, I will be the counselor at Belzer. I also have 2 children who've gone through the district. They both graduated, and one's at Purdue and one's in law school.
I'm Charlie Hawk, and I'm a 7th grader at Belzer. I came here from Amy Beverland, and I was on the soccer team, the basketball team, and I'm going out for the baseball team.
I'm Mike Connors. I'm the athletic director at Belzer.
And I am Andy Harsha, the principal at Belzer Middle School.
And I'm Kathy Lusso. I'm the principal at Fall Creek Valley, and I have a son in 1st grade at Forest Glen.
My name is Amanda Camacho. I am the proud alumni of Lawrence Township, and I also teach orchestra and guitar here at Fall Creek Valley.
James C.K. I'm an 8th grade student at Fall Creek Valley Middle School.
I'm Franklin Bush, the freshman school principal at Lawrence North High School, proud alumni from Lawrence North as well. I have 3 kids in the district, 5th grade student at Forest Glen and twin 1st grade boys at Forest Glen. Please pray for me, thank you.
Good evening, I am Retha Swain. I am an assistant principal at Lawrence Central High School. I currently have a senior at Indiana University and a 2nd grader at Harrison Hill.
All right, so that is our wonderful panel for this evening, and I think we should just get started right away. Tell me this, who are our students in the audience? I see a lot of students. Raise your hands. I feel like this first question needs to be for you. Okay, so students with your hands up, everything is about to change. What you know is no longer, but it's exciting and it's good. And we're going to talk a little bit about that now. So the routine is changing. It's an exciting time, but it's still a change. So I'm hoping that people on our panel can tell us, what is a typical day like for a new 7th grade student at Fall Creek Valley or at Belzer Middle School? James, you start.
All right, so a typical day at Fall Creek Valley Middle School, sometimes it's kind of rushy and stuff. The first day of school, it's not going to be too fun. You're going to go through all the rules, the basic stuff, get used to all your classes, meet all your teachers. And then, you're going to meet all your friends and stuff. They didn't go over to Belzer. That's it.
I've got some cliff notes for you. Lockers, core classes, electives, passing periods, lunch. That should kind of get the ball rolling.
pick your electives. If you're in the immersion program, you only get a few electives, and then you got your locker. You get 4 minutes passing period.
So at Fall Creek Valley and at Belzer, we have 7-period days. So every student has a locker. When the 2-minute bell, a warning bell sounds, then you go to class. Now typically at our school, I don't know how it is at Belzer, but our kids come out for the 4-minute passing period, and they don't really have any sense of urgency until that warning bell. And then suddenly they realize, oh, I've got to get to second period, and they go. Honestly, our 7th graders coming in, it really takes about 2 or 3 weeks for them to really get in the groove of learning the routine of the building. And I go from first period, which is math, to second period, which is orchestra, and I don't really need to go to my locker, but before 3rd period, I definitely need to go to my locker before I go to social studies or whatever the pattern might be. It takes a couple of weeks. The good news is that our 7th grade teachers are totally used to that. So they're used to being able to stand in the hallway and talk to the kids and remind them about how to use their combination lock and where the classrooms are and how to get where they're going. And it really doesn't take long at all before our 7th graders fall right into a groove and figure their way around the school. And the nice thing is that even though it feels like everything that you're doing is brand new, students, everyone around you is having the same experience in 7th grade. And actually, Mr. Harsha and I, we run schools that are pretty good at transitions because every single year, half of our student body, brand new, right? Because the 8th graders move on to high school, the 6th graders come up and become 7th graders with us. So we're really good at welcoming kids and sending them on to high school when they're ready to go.
Mrs. Neil, could I have you talk a little bit about electives? I think that's a really exciting change. Students, we actually will be making some visits to your buildings here in the next few months, and one of our big focuses during that time is going to be all of the opportunities that you've got to select some elective classes.
You said it's really loud. Okay, I'll try to be quiet. All right. Core classes. I don't know if that was mentioned, but core classes are those that English, math, science, and social studies. You have no choice about that. But the elective classes, which is so fun, I love talking about electives, they vary from all of the performing arts, music, to art, to we have at Belzer as well, we have a guitar class. We also have piano, keyboarding. We have yearbook, newspaper. We also have a Project Lead the Way class, and more than just one. And I know that's the case at Fall Creek as well. We also have digital citizenship, and we have an all-girl PE wellness class, which is fun to have all the girls together. But we have a variety of electives, and that's what the kids enjoy.
Just to piggyback off that a little bit, is there parent involvement in this elective course selection?
Absolutely. We're looking at the dates for our visits out to the elementaries, and we'll probably come out the week of the 16th, 17th, somewhere in there, and then go into the next week because we'll probably have those 2 snow days off. So we'll probably split the weeks, but we will all go out at the same, Fall Creek will go out at the same time as Belzer. And so at that time, the kids will hear all that they need to hear about the electives. We'll go through each one. We'll bring some performing arts people with us and maybe some other elective teachers with us as well. And then on April 5th, parents, you have the opportunity to visit both of the middle schools to hear more from us, hear the performing arts, and then at that time, hopefully all of your questions will be answered, and we do want a signature on those elective forms from the parent, because we want you to have, because you may have to negotiate parents. They may want to do this, and you go, well, you can do this, but I want you to do that, and kids have tried to get me in trouble, and they'll come in and they'll say, but I want to do this, but my mom wants to do this, and they try to scratch it up. No, I don't get in the middle of that. We want the families to decide what the student should take.
I I think one thing that my kids loved about the transition from elementary to middle school, which was a change, is that you get to sleep in a little later. The day starts a little later in the middle school, so the bus comes a little later, and for many families that was a huge advantage, and I think for the kids it was definitely an advantage.
So there are typically the 3 L's. We talk about that a lot. The 3 L's are a big concern coming in any transition, but especially coming to the middle school. How do I do my locker? What about lunch? And am I going to get lost? Okay? Yes to all of that. You're going to have a locker. You're probably going to get lost, and you're definitely going to have lunch. Lunch is different at the middle school. You get more choice than you might have at the elementary. And parents, you can monitor that. Go through pay cams like you do now to put money on the account, but you can see what it is they're selecting. And we, of course, encourage them to make healthy choices. And we encourage you to encourage them as well. But we'll teach them all about their locker and how to get there and how to keep themselves organized, because it can be kind of overwhelming for some kids to have to manage 7 different classes and all of those transitions during the day. So we teach them about how to organize their time and their materials so that when they get to class, they're ready to go with what they need. It can be a lot different than what happens in 6th grade typically. But again, like I said, we're pretty used to that. That's our job, is to make you guys feel comfortable here and to help make all of our kids feel successful here. So we'll help with that an awful lot. That's what we do.
Okay. Well, I've heard performing arts mentioned several times, and we're going to keep talking about that because it's an important part of the offerings that we have in our schools. But we have Mr. Connors here, and he's the athletic director here at Belzer Middle School, and he can speak a little bit to some of the additional athletic opportunities that are available to students at the middle schools.
Well, as you guys came in, if you came in door 6 or one of the entrances this side, you saw at the moment the girls' Marion County basketball tournaments going on. Both our schools offer 29 different athletic teams. At Belzer last year, we had over 500 participants in our athletic program. We offer every program the high school offers except for golf, baseball, soccer. As Charlie mentioned, he was on the basketball and soccer teams. He's also a baseball player. We have multiple opportunities through each season, and we strongly encourage our kids to be multi-sport athletes because it improves their overall athletic development, gives them a chance to get around more peers. But any sport you want to play in high school, we have offerings for you here at the middle school. Some of them are grade level only teams, meaning we have a 7th grade football team, a 7th grade basketball team, an 8th grade basketball team, an 8th grade football team. Others, like soccer, are multi-grade. And for those of you who are 6th graders here, if you are a runner, you guys can compete in track this spring for both Belzer and Fall Creek Valley. You should have gotten information on that or see it very soon on your school's website, Twitter accounts, things like that. But you guys can get involved this spring if you want at the school you're going to be at next year. Helps you get to know some of your teachers, coaches, feel a lot more comfortable at what, as Ms. Eltmeyer mentioned, might be a little bit intimidating for you. You walk in day 1, you already know 5 or 6 teachers, and you know the building and you know the facilities because you were here all last spring. And so I would encourage you guys very much to get involved in that. I think Charlie could also talk about one concern some kids have sometimes is balancing grades and athletics. I can tell you our student athletes typically achieve higher academically than our non-athletes do because it helps keep their time better managed. But to hear from a student who can do that, Charlie being a multi-sport athlete and an honor roll student can offer some thoughts on that also.
Yeah, one of the most concerning things coming into this year was time management. Like, how can I finish all my homework but continue to excel in my sports at the same time? And a lot of it's been easy this year. One, because I was Mr. Connors' assistant, and so every morning I get to come in and finish my homework.
Most students don't have that much yet.
Yeah, I'm not going to guarantee it because it's only the students that he likes or pretends to like.
In Charlie's case, just pretends to like.
Yeah, we're just going to sugarcoat that and move on, but A lot of it's been really easy. I don't have to make constant stops to my locker, especially now that bells are added in backpacks. And so I get to have all my stuff together at once and move around the building with all of my things instead of having to go back and forth to my locker, which is at the back of a hall. And it's always just easy to be able to get my work done, and my coaches always give me the opportunity to finish my work. All soccer games that we had, we either held a study table or we would watch the girls play first, and so we had an opportunity to do our homework. And then for all basketball games that we had that are home, we went into our coach's office and we had almost an hour and a half to do all of our homework. So it ended up being very easy to balance and almost no stress on my shoulders whatsoever.
You know, I think homework is probably a big source of stress for families, and I'm hoping our students can speak to this a little bit. How do you keep track of your homework and your assignments, and what should parents expect as far as homework once their student is in middle school?
Well, the teachers are always very open about it. Like, we go through Canvas, and I don't know if Fall Creek Valley does or not, but we use Canvas, and our teachers list all of the assignments that we have done. So all we have to do is click once, and we see every single thing that we have to do.
Parents can see that too?
Yes, they can. They can log in too. We have constant access to our Skyward, where we can see our grades whenever we want them. I personally have seen different grades go off, and I can just check my Skyward. If there's a 0 on an assignment, I discuss it with my teacher to see something that happens, and like, my grades have been up all year. It's been really easy to keep track of.
Anything about grades and how you manage your time?
Well, how I manage my time, well, not my time, my grades and stuff, I can go on Skyward, see what assignments I'm missing, and, you know, go through my binder, my backpack, wherever they are, and make them up, ask my teachers, get the papers, you know.
If it's okay, I want to mention one thing. Charlie mentioned that parents do have access to both Skyward and Canvas, and this is just something I want to take an opportunity to bring up. I think that we, at the middle school level, see a wide variety of parents' desire to be involved. We have some parents who feel that their student is now getting into middle school and it's time to start giving them some more independence, and they need to sort of push them to handle things on their own and advocate for themselves. And then we have some parents who still are very much so wanting to be involved in conversations with their students about grades and what's going on at school, and really, in some cases, even being more involved maybe than they were at the elementary school. And we give plenty of opportunities for that. As he mentioned, through Skyward, students can access, and parents can access their children's grade and literally click on, you know, English class and see every assignment that was given, what date it was due, how many points it was worth, and literally could check that every single day if they wanted to. And then as far as Canvas, that's our learning management system, and again, you could go on that class's Canvas page and find out what went on in class today, what assignments are due, when's the next test. So we really work hard to communicate from our end for those parents that are wanting to be involved. There's plenty of opportunities for you to do so electronically. And then, of course, I know both schools are trying our best to keep up on social media and posting things on Twitter, our Sunday night messages that go out. I hope I'm not jumping ahead here, Dana, but really working on giving parents that are wanting to stay heavily involved that opportunity.
Yeah, the Sunday night call is a big one. We try to promote what's going to be happening around the school. And as Dana mentioned, you know, we are comprehensive middle schools. We have more offerings of electives and after-school activities than some high schools. And so we really want you to try things out and get involved. And so even if you're not involved in, say, the robotics team, you're going to hear about what's going on with robotics through the Sunday call. So you can stay informed about what's going on in our school and how to support the other students in our school and how to just sort of support the Fall Creek Valley community and the Belzer community, because we are a community. And you know, we feed into Lawrence North and they feed into Lawrence Central, but we're we're all a part of the Lawrence Township community. And when great things happen in Lawrence Township, we want to tell you about it, make sure that you're aware. Because when cool things happen, we celebrate them. All 7 of my Twitter followers, if you're in the room, would you raise your hand, please? Thank you, Dr. Gegline, very good. So when something really cool is happening at Belzer and Mr. Harsha tweets that out, I'm going to favorite that right away or retweet. I don't know what, I hit the button right away so that our followers can see that too. Because when they do well, we do well. And when we do well, they do well. And that's important for our township. It's important for our community. And so you can be involved in lots of different ways. And we do have some parents that want to come and shadow their student at school. Let me just give you a little advice about that. It's not so much, the kids don't really love that at this age. You can, maybe yours is different. But typically I don't think that our middle school kids really love that. When you chaperone the dance, you're probably not going to see your child at the dance. They'll be there, but they'll be somewhere else. Because right now they're learning about their independence from you as well. They're setting their own boundaries and limits, and it's okay and it's normal. And so when you have questions about that, and you will, talk to the other chaperones who can't find their kid at the dance, or talk to us and let us reassure you that it's going to be just fine.